Hello, welcome to Matrix Live. It is the 19th of July 2019. I'm Ben, I'm here in the office, and I'm going to go and see what some of the guys have been up to this week. It's a bit of a diminished showing in the office today. It's kind of rainy and a lot of people are either on holiday or working from home. But you know, London in July, it's going to rain sometimes. So hey, let's go and chat to the guys. Hello, Yorick.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Good. Very good.
What is it that you're working on? Open tracing, I understand?
Yeah, I'm still working on the open tracing, so if you have seen the open tracing episode, you should go back
and
have a look at that. And
what is open tracing? Tell me as if I didn't know anything.
So you have a distributed system, which is a bunch of computers talking to each other and trying to communicate, and open tracing lets us see the causal relationship between events in each of those. So
across the network?
Across the network. So if a client asks, can I have the keys for this person,
yes.
and then that server needs to go talk to a bunch of other servers, we can see whether or not those other servers responded with the correct things or it just crashed.
Okay, so it's like a more in-depth logging.
It's a very in-depth logging, yeah.
All right, cool. And this will help with the, we get a lot of unable to decrypt.
Yeah, so we get this thing called the UIC, which I still can't remember what it stands for.
What's the UIC stand for?
I'm not blaming you.
Oh.
I've just been nodding and smiling.
It must start with unable.
I think it's unknown index.
Yes.
Something with S.
It's very cryptic and it's no longer relevant to the way that we refer to
right.
the error.
Yeah.
So it's
but it's the error. The error manifests itself as an unable to decrypt.
Yes.
In short.
And basically, that means that somewhere the decryption keys went missing, and we don't know where that happened. So it could be on any of the servers that didn't respond correctly.
Right.
And we identified one.
Fast. Okay, so we're going to see one less cause of that.
We should do. Yeah.
That's
still working on the PR, but it's.
Oh yeah. It's not expected to come out. How many causes are there? Is that part of what the tracing is going to find out?
There are two general classes of UIC, but the actual causes for each of them are undocumented, so we can that's the idea, is to try and find causes.
I mean, this is going to actually be super fascinating because people are already kind of getting used to the fact that sometimes these keys don't come across, and now that won't be a thing. It'll be
nice. It'll be one of those things where people don't report that it works because it works so well.
Yeah.
That's
People will forget that there was ever a problem there in a short time anyway. Cool. So how close are you with this project?
Well, it's nearing completion, but the thing is that there's a lot of housekeeping, and I've only been working here for about a month, so I'm trying to get used to how everything's structured and how the PRs work, so I'm just getting through all that, so pretty soon it should be finished. And then the idea is that it only traces a small subset, currently the end-to-end encryption stuff.
Right, yes.
And then it's all ready for anybody else who's having to use it when it's useful.
Yeah.
And it should be in full production, tracing a subset of the queries, because it's too much to just do them all.
Yes.
But in-house testing, you could just turn off everything and see what's going on.
Awesome. So the next time there's some issue which is manifesting as some network-based problem, you'll just be able to get way better logging.
Yeah.
Cool.
Hopefully. Right. And there's some really cool logging stuff coming up that Hawkow's working on. So
really? Yeah.
Come together quite nicely.
And is this connected? Is her work connected to the the small home servers, or is it?
Yes, that's exactly what she's working on.
Cool.
So we are thinking of putting it into the small hosted home servers, and then they should all come to the same logging system. So cool.
That is really cool. Thank you for that work.
Sure.
Cool, man. All right, let's see the next victim. Who should we pick? There's one here. I can see one here.
Uh-oh.
How are you doing?
Hey,
this is Eric. Good. We all know and love Eric. So what are you working on? Synapse, I presume.
Yes, Synapse. Basically, been spending time trying to look at where some of our database performance is going. We've noticed that our database box for matrix.org is, shall we say, a little bit slow at the moment, and we're using a lot of I/O.
So this is Postgres. And it's a bottleneck in the sense that everything has to go to the one database.
Yeah, we only have the one database that powers all of matrix.org Synapse.
Okay.
There are all sorts of plans in the future to be able to split the database out and have different databases do different things and charge rooms and all that sort of stuff. But for now, we're just looking for some sort of quick wins just to tie us over. So that's mainly been involved trying to put more metrics into Postgres and looking at looking at that and then staring at the queries that come out and go,
maybe
we can make this a bit better, or maybe we can do that. So there's been a couple of bigger PRs and a few smaller PRs that are sort of slowly going through, which hopefully should make some difference. Although the problem with this sort of I/O stuff is because it's so close to the I/O bottleneck, that you end up with all the timings being skewed. Which means that you sort of get all these wonderful metrics, but you can't totally 100% trust that they're going to be right. So I've tried a few times before to do some quick wins, and I thought, this is the biggest query, and there's some really easy things we can do. And I've changed it all, and the wonderful graph has completely changed, but it's the same. It just turned out to be the same.
So the outcome is the same, even if there's a different bottleneck now.
So which probably suggests that the metrics we were using before were just not. They were just completely wrong. Simply because once I/O starts to go, then all your timings start to become interesting. And that sort of thing. So hopefully this time we've got better metrics, and all my work is going to actually help rather than do nothing.
Cool. So are you expecting to see these queries to go out in the next version of Synapse with a hopeful performance increase?
I don't think not. Maybe. So we're kind of right in the middle of cutting in RC. So I've only just landed some of those PRs, but I think that might be just after where we cut the RC off.
Right, I see.
So I think it might not be this release, but there will be at some point in the next 2 or 3 weeks.
Well, the last couple of releases have been quite big on perf anyway, because they've been used to power the small hosted home servers. So, but presumably those optimizations are in a completely different place.
And there's just been a lot of work to, because obviously people run Synapse in so many different ways that what the bottleneck is for matrix.org is not what the bottleneck is for small hosted home servers. So there's just been a bunch of work going around, and more work to come. There's Hawkow's been doing all sorts of investigation pieces.
We must speak to her more, I think.
It'd be really interesting actually what she's been doing. Most of those haven't actually landed yet, simply because they've been investigation pieces to go, this is actually what's on small hosted home servers. So actually, what can we do about this? And there's some really interesting stuff coming out of that. So hopefully,
all things point to Synapse performance improving in the near future.
Hopefully.
And it's been getting better too. I'm not getting nearly as many problems with my own. But
cool.
Yay. Thanks, Eric.
Sure.
All right. There's more of these people. We can talk to another one. This. Have you seen him before? This is Andrew. You know him as Anoa.
Yes.
How are you doing, and what are you working on?
I'm doing well. I'm working on Dendrite nearly full-time now.
Yeah, cool. So Dendrite is the next generation server in Go.
Yes, that's correct. Should be hopefully a lot faster and a lot more scalable. So recently we had a meeting because Dendrite's been installed for quite a while.
Yes.
So we needed all the help we could get on Synapse. And we were trying to figure out where we should actually go with Dendrite, what the ideal use cases would be, what we should actually prioritize. And there were a couple things. The first thing we figured out was that we don't actually think that polylith mode, which is when you run Dendrite in multiple processes, is actually that important at the moment, because what Golang does is it does spread its workload across multiple threads.
Right, so it would still be multi-threaded.
Right, exactly. So it performs really well across a single box already, which is what we're trying to do with Synapse. We're trying to split up the multi-master process, because that's a Python limitation. So we're thinking, okay, well, really this is only useful if you want to run on multiple machines, which will be useful in the future. Right now, a lot of our community doesn't really need that. So we're focusing on the monolith mode. And then also we were focusing on the use cases, which is going to start out with plot hosting. So this is something we were talking about earlier, and something Travis, I think, originally brought up, where he said it would be nice if I could have my big, fully featured Synapse, and then stick all my massive, heavy app services and stuff on a Dendrite, which can do it all really quickly and do it on a different machine. So so the application service spec is going to not be included in this original milestone, but it's about 80% implemented already.
So what's interesting to me, so what I don't understand there is if the application service spec is nearly ready, isn't that very similar to the client spec?
No, it's a totally different spec. We have 5. And they're 2 different things. So bots, right? If you're writing a bot, you'll use the client service API. Application services use that too, but they also need, because they're
Right.
running on the server, there's a
Additional.
lot of that stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So that needs a little bit of fixing, but essentially we want people to be able to play with Dendrite, and it needs to get to a point where it's usable. It will be a while until it's feature complete with Synapse, so we have to kind of scope back what we actually want it to do.
Right.
We think client-side bots is a good metric because it requires federation, which is something that's really important for actually making it work with other home servers. And it requires a basic amount of the CS API to be implemented.
Yeah.
So that is what we're going for initially, and it should allow people to create an account on it, join rooms that people are actually participating in, and have fun with it. So what I'm doing is I'm creating milestones for us to track these.
This is
different
public,
things.
right?
This is public.
There we go.
Wouldn't be talking about it otherwise.
Well, I don't know if you'd have shown the.
True.
Right.
So we have 3, which is bot hosting. That's what we want to do first. Tons of issues in there. Also including federation, and then also some maintenance stuff that we should get out of the way before we actually work on other things. Then we want a basic client, so people can load up, some of the clients that aren't done yet, and like some of the features of Riot, and that should all work so they can actually use it as a user, not just a bot. And then a lot of the rest of the CS API is going into the 3rd milestone, which is feature client support.
So it's the rest.
Yeah. Okay. But once the first one's done, hopefully we can say, hey everyone, here's Dendrite, come play with it, federates with Synapse.
So I'm looking at these milestones and I see a lot of no due dates, so $1 million question.
Well, they're actually still being set up. So what I'm doing right now, most of the day, is going through the massive list of issues we have. A lot of them came from Brendan's initial audit, and I'm figuring out exactly what the state of everything is. Some of them are updated, some of them are quick wins, so I'm just fixing them. A lot of stuff like that. So there's a lot of fixes going in. And some actual nice stuff that's come off the back of Dendrite is improvements to SciTest and some of our other tools to make them not so Synapse specific, so that when other home servers like Rooma actually start to get going, they can make use of these tools as well.
Yeah. Oh, and you're getting some support from your
Yes. No, he's been great. It's been really wonderful to have him.
This is the GSoccer that we've got.
Yeah, our Google Summer of Code student who's with us until nearly the end of August, and has been with us for nearly 2 months now. He's been great. His code is excellent. He's been in the room asking really good questions and helping people in the community when I don't have time, which is really fun.
That is good. No, it's really good, and it's good to see some people still excited about Dendrite.
Definitely.
That's a big thing.
I hope he stays on afterwards because he's been a real boon to the project.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be more other community contributions there, so it's kind of taking out slowly. Yeah,
I mean, there was a bit of a burst of it a few months ago, and then it died again as we didn't have any time to review PRs. But now
it's a cycle.
Now I'm able to actually devote more time to it, so hopefully people will come back in. It's
cool.
Really good.
All right, Noah, Andrew, thank you very much for the summary.
No problem.
Thanks, man. There's one left. He's got a hell of a beard. Think you've met Ryan before?
Hello.
So Ryan works on Riot and has been busy this week with a release.
Right, that was probably the big thing, I guess.
What?
This is Riot 1.3, so featuring the message editing and reactions finally turned on by default.
Yeah, so what's so funny is that people watching this video, probably most of them have been using these features for like months now.
Right, if you've been on develop, it's been kind of a long tail of things that you polish away, and that was something you could turn on in labs on develop. So probably most of the people watching the video have been doing that already a long time ago.
But it's still super cool. I mean, literally a friend of mine who runs only /app was like, "Wow, it's working! Like that's cool. I didn't expect this." And it also means that bridges are going to get more support for it. I know that Telegram has already got the Telegram bridge has already got this stuff. So
That's both great and a little tricky, I think, because there's still like some details that are being tweaked in the MSC because we still haven't finalized the MSC that supports all of this, and some so it's a little it's a little bit of a tricky situation.
I mean, so the MSC has to be done. You know, there's an implementation out there, so we really need to get this MSC out. Yeah, that's all we'll say on that. And then the big thing, I guess, is that people want to have different emojis.
Right, and I mean, we're already kind of offering that with one of the clients. I think RightX on Android, at least, and maybe iOS. I think only RightX on Android has the full kind of emoji picker. And so, hopefully soon we can get that going in Riot as well.
So my technique of just copying the annotation object into a new window and then always having it available to curl is, we need to do a bit better on the UX than that.
I mean, there's also the DevTools feature.
Yeah, well, that's what it is.
That's what I did when I was developing the feature. Making custom events with DevTools.
Yeah, that's a big part of it.
It's a little tiring after.
I mean, I think the fact that people are already at the point where they're asking about different emojis shows that it's generally working otherwise. Like the rest of the UX is fine.
So, I mean, it was a bit funny to see that they were like, "Cool, that's so cool," and then like 30 seconds later, they're like, well, "There's only 8 of them."
No good deed goes unpunished. I mean, with the big times this has happened before, things like when Facebook introduced reactions to sort of supplant likes,
right?
And all the controversy about why do they pick these? At some point you have to pick a set, and the Riot team did that. So custom stuff will come, I think. That's fab. That's really cool. Sorry, I didn't prep you for this. What's the next thing for Riot?
At the moment, a lot of the work has been around the privacy sprint to kind of give people more choice about integration managers and identity servers, and making sure it's very clear and explicit, kind of what you're agreeing to with all those services and things like that. And allowing people to choose whether they want those things or not. Going through all those integration points and making sure it's much more.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the tedious work that just has to be done at some point.
I mean, I guess it's. Something we would have wanted to do a long time ago, right? Anyway, it's good it's happening now.
Yeah, that's fab. All right, thanks Ryan, thanks everybody for letting us know what's going on. The office is a little quiet today, but there's still a load of activity happening. All right, thanks Matrix Live, see you soon. Bye.